Welcome to Furniture Industry News, the podcast designed to keep professionals in the furniture industry up to date. I'm your host, and today we'll be diving into some of the most pressing topics affecting our industry, from trends in consumer spending amid high interest rates to the latest reports on furniture orders and shipments. We'll also explore insights into the bedding market, legislative updates on recycling bills, and the latest data on U.S. and Chinese manufacturing outputs. In addition, we'll discuss the growing synergies between direct-to-consumer and brick-and-mortar models and how innovative solutions are turning e-commerce returns into revenue. Stay tuned for an informative episode packed with essential updates designed to help you stay ahead in the ever-evolving furniture industry. As the country continues to battle high interest rates and small wage gains, one might expect consumer spending to plummet. However, according to the National Retail Federation, consumers are still willing to open their wallets. Jack Kleinhenz, the NRF's chief economist, provides insights into this trend and what it means for the future. Kleinhenz notes that although consumer spending growth is slowing, the willingness to spend is still evident. In the latest issue of the NRF's monthly economic review, he points out that several factors will determine the growth for the remainder of the year. These include the pace of job growth, the rate of inflation, and any actions the Federal Reserve may take. One piece of good news is that the economy is still growing and inflation is moderating. Overall, the fundamentals appear solid as increased consumer spending maintains underlying momentum. While growth in consumer spending has indeed eased due to slower job and wage gains, along with higher interest rates and tighter credit, consumers have not shied away from making purchases. According to Census Bureau data, core retail sales, which exclude auto dealers, gas stations, and restaurants, were up 3.8% unadjusted year over year for the first 4 months of the year. This aligns with the NRF's forecast for 2024 retail sales to grow by 2.5% to 3.5% compared to last year. Gross domestic product is anticipated to grow by about 2.3% over 2023, although the employment outlook has improved. Average employment is now expected to grow by 180,000 jobs a month, which is 50,000 higher than previously estimated. Interestingly, inflation, as measured by the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, is expected to drop to around 2.2% by the end of the year, closely aligning with the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. Kleinhenz attributes a significant part of this positive shift to the surge in immigration, which has increased the supply of workers, bolstered production capacity, and mitigated labor shortages. This has allowed the economy to generate jobs without overheating and accelerating inflation. As for inflation driven by service prices, Kleinhenz expects it to be short-lived. Overall, year-over-year inflation stood at 2.7% in March, largely driven by a 4% rise in service sector prices, while prices for goods remained unchanged compared to the previous year. Fortunately, these prices have been gradually declining. Initially, there were expectations that the Federal Reserve would start lowering interest rates in July of this year. However, given the lingering high inflation numbers, it appears that rate cuts might not happen until later in the year. Kleinhenz states that the Fed is data-dependent, meaning they require several consecutive months of decreasing inflation before lowering rates. The central bank's cautious approach aims to cool the economy further and keep GDP growth projections intact. He asserts that the broader trend of lower inflation remains unchanged and that the mix of inflation rates is expected to become more favorable, with slower price growth in the service sector supplementing less deflation in prices for goods. In summary, while economic challenges persist, signs indicate resilience in consumer spending amidst formidable headwinds. As we progress through the year, the interplay between job growth, inflation, and Federal Reserve actions will be crucial points of focus for industry stakeholders. In the furniture industry, March brought a mixed bag of results. According to reports from Smith Leonard, new orders for furniture rose by 2% compared to the same month last year. This marks the 9th out of 10 months where year-over-year orders have seen an increase. In March, new orders tallied $2.19 billion, slightly up from $2.16 billion in March 2023. Notably, these figures were flat compared to February 2024, indicating a consistent demand. However, the shipment of furniture told a different story. Shipments fell by a significant 17% compared to the previous year, totaling $2.23 billion, down from $2.7 billion in March 2023. About 85% of survey participants noted a drop in shipments. Compared to February, shipments also decreased by 4%. The backlogs for the furniture industry also reflected a downturn, with March backlogs totaling $2.64 billion, a 17% decline from the $3.18 billion reported the previous year. Despite this, there was a slight increase of 2% from the $2.6 billion reported in February. Other aspects of the industry's performance were equally telling. Receivable levels were down 9% from March 2023 and saw a 3% decline from February. The report explained that this trend was in line with the decline in shipments during the same periods. Inventory levels showed a significant reduction, down 22% from March 2023 and 2% from February, which aligns with the current operational levels within the industry. These lower inventory levels suggest a cautious approach by manufacturers and retailers, possibly influenced by economic uncertainties. The workforce in the furniture sector also shrank, with the number of factory and warehouse workers down by 6% year over year and a 1% decline compared to February. While this reduction reflects the industry's efforts to align with decreased production demands, it also indicates broader economic pressures impacting employment. Finally, payroll expenses mirrored these workforce trends. Payroll expenses were down 6% from last year, but interestingly, they increased by 5% from February. This increase was attributed to a shorter prior month, which influenced the payroll expenditure for comparison. In summary, the March furniture orders show resilience with a slight increase, yet shipments and other operational indicators tell a story of a sector facing significant challenges. The furniture industry continues to navigate through a complex landscape, balancing between steady demand and logistical, economic, and labor constraints. Let's dive into the latest trends in the bedding industry for the second quarter of 2024, as covered by Sheila Long-O'Mara in her series Bedding Insights. One notable highlight comes from Serta Simmons Bedding, which is reviving its iconic bowling ball ad campaign from the past. Chairman and interim CEO Mark Janender explains that this nostalgic marketing strategy aims to reconnect with consumers familiar with it from prior years, while also attracting a new audience. The campaign underscores the company's ongoing commitment to innovation and quality. Therapeutic is also making waves with significant changes and steady improvements. Their new initiatives show a remarkable blend of retaining core strengths while adapting to evolving market demands. Therapeutic emphasizes maintaining stability amidst these changes, ensuring that their foundational principles continue to guide their operations. Meanwhile, Magnaflex introduces a new adjustable base program, described as a perfect match to their extensive mattress lineup. This initiative aims to offer consumers enhanced comfort and flexibility, aligning with the increasing demand for adaptable sleep solutions. Mlili USA takes a customer-centric approach, striving to be the easiest vendor for their retail partners. Their strategy focuses on streamlining processes and providing robust support to retailers, ensuring that their partnerships thrive and deliver excellent value. Finally, Kingsdown is starting the year with a strong emphasis on style and substance. Their CEO highlights how the company is balancing aesthetic appeal with functional excellence, a combination that is expected to appeal to a broad range of consumers seeking both beauty and quality in their bedding products. These developments indicate a dynamic quarter ahead for the bedding industry, with companies investing in innovative approaches and robust partnerships to meet the evolving needs of their customers. Stay tuned for more updates in this ever-changing market. The International Sleep Products Association, or ISPA, has recently announced its withdrawal of support for New York's amended mattress recycling bills. The legislative amendments in the Assembly and Senate, known as A6436B, Pollen, and S. 6419E, Kavanaugh, have removed a critical provision for a recycling fee to be collected at the point of sale. According to ISPA, this fee is essential for the sustainable financing of the recycling program. Ryan Trainer, president of ISPA, expressed the association's concerns, stating, "Although the mattress industry has a proven record of recycling millions of mattresses annually and is prepared to do similar work in New York, We regrettably must oppose the legislation as it has been recently amended. ISPA encourages the New York legislature to consider a simpler system that evenly distributes the cost across all mattresses sold, mirroring successful models in states like California, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. ISPA's opposition hinges on several key points. First, the lack of a clear and transparent funding mechanism could harm New York consumers, U.S. mattress producers, and local employees. The consumer fee, as proposed initially, offers a straightforward way to fund recycling efforts and ensures that all manufacturers are accountable. Without this fee, some manufacturers might evade their financial responsibilities, creating an unfair burden on complying businesses. This in turn could lead to higher costs for consumers. Moreover, a significant portion of mattresses sold in New York are manufactured abroad. Without the point-of-sale fee, tracking and accounting for these international sales becomes challenging. This loophole undermines the principle of extended producer responsibility, which aims to make all producers equally responsible for the costs of recycling. ISPA has a strong track record in mattress recycling, having established the nonprofit Mattress Recycling Council in 2014. Since then, they have recycled over 13 million mattresses and box springs in states with existing legislation. The council processes nearly 2 million units annually, showing the feasibility and success of a well-funded recycling program. Traynor underscored the association's disappointment with the proposed amendments, emphasizing the need for a system that guarantees equitable cost distribution and transparency. He urged the New York legislature to reconsider the amendments for the betterment of consumers, workers, the industry, and the environment. For more insights on ISPA's position and efforts regarding mattress recycling and the legislative landscape, stay tuned to Furniture Industry News as we continue to bring you the latest updates and developments impacting the furniture industry. In May, the U.S. manufacturing sector faced another month of decline, marking the 18th contraction in the past 19 months. The most recent report from the Institute for Supply Management, or ISM, illustrates a continuing trend of softening demand and stagnant production levels. According to the ISM's latest index, manufacturing activity slipped to 48.7%, a half percentage point drop from the previous month. Timothy R. Fiore, the ISM chairman, provided some insights into these figures. He noted, U.S. manufacturing activity continued in contraction after brief growth in March, the first expansion since September 2022. Fiore explained that this downturn was largely driven by a significant drop in new orders, reflecting an ongoing reluctance among companies to invest amidst prevailing economic uncertainties and monetary policies. Fiore mentioned that while demand remained weak, production levels held steady compared to the previous month. However, headcount reductions persisted, highlighting the cautious approach companies are taking in the current economic climate. Demand remains elusive as companies demonstrate an unwillingness to invest due to current monetary policy and other conditions, Fiore elaborated. These investments include supplier order commitments, inventory building, and capital expenditures. While production execution continued to expand, it was essentially flat compared to the previous month. Out of the 18 manufacturing industries recognized by the ISM, only 7 reported growth while another 7 reported contraction, with the remaining 4 industries showing no change. Unfortunately, the furniture sector was among those reporting contraction, but the severity appears slightly less compared to previous months. Just as in April, furniture saw no change in production output and new orders, both of which had already fallen in March. The furniture industry also reported a decline in employment, mirroring the trend observed in April. There were no changes in supplier delivery speeds, but inventories for the month declined, and the prices for raw materials stayed stable. Furthermore, the furniture sector was among 9 industries that reported lower backlogs. Interestingly, despite these ongoing challenges, the ISM's semi-annual report revealed a sense of cautious optimism among American manufacturers. They still predict growth for 2024 compared to 2023, although their confidence is somewhat diminished compared to the end of 2022. Fiore concluded his analysis by noting the broader implications for the manufacturing sector, saying, suppliers continue to have capacity, with lead times improving and shortages not as severe. While this may hint at some stabilization, companies remain hesitant to make significant investments until more favorable conditions emerge. So, while the U.S. manufacturing sector is facing persistent challenges, there is a glimmer of optimism for future growth. Yet, the road to recovery seems fraught with uncertainties and cautious steps. China's manufacturing output is experiencing remarkable growth, marking the fastest increase in the past 2 years. This surge is primarily driven by a significant rise in production and new orders. According to the latest data from the Kleinhenz Global Purchasing Managers Index, the number rose to 51.7 in May, up from 51.4 in April. It's important to note that any figure above 50 indicates expansion, and this index has now been in positive territory for 7 consecutive months. The report highlights that business conditions in the Chinese manufacturing sector have improved noticeably, particularly midway through the second quarter of 2024. As a result, companies have been able to accelerate production to meet the rising demand. This uptick has also led to an increase in backlogged work, with more firms ramping up their purchasing activities despite a surge in the cost of material inputs, which hit a 7-month high. One key aspect of this growth is the increased purchasing activity among domestic Chinese firms. Companies surveyed remain optimistic that the boost in orders will offset the higher costs of raw materials. The Kleinhenz Index is especially relevant to international retailers and businesses because it focuses on China's smaller and medium-sized firms that have strong connections with the global economy. These companies often provide more insightful data than the larger state-owned enterprises typically highlighted in official government reports. Chinese policymakers have been actively supporting high-tech manufacturing, aiming to rejuvenate the country's exporters while also boosting internal demand. The economic environment in China is generally stable and continues on a recovery path, underlined by better-than-expected growth in industrial production this past April. Despite these positive signs, the industry still faces challenges such as employment pressures and weaker demand compared to supply. Overall, as China's manufacturing sector continues to expand, international retailers should keep an eye on these developments to better navigate the evolving landscape. The ongoing support from the Chinese government and the resilience of smaller manufacturers offer a hopeful outlook for continued growth. Direct-to-consumer mattress brands and brick-and-mortar retailers are finding surprising benefits as they increasingly collaborate. This was the highlight of a recent panel at the Bedding Conference with industry experts from Avocado Green Mattress, Puffy, Resident Home, and Casper. These partnerships are reshaping how both channels operate and grow. Brian Baxter of Avocado Green Mattress observed that while online brands and traditional stores once seemed to be fierce competitors, they now complement each other. We've learned that to get beds to consumers faster and efficiently, integrating our online presence with physical stores is crucial. This sentiment was echoed by other panelists who noted that approximately 52% of consumers still prefer to try products before buying, making physical stores an invaluable asset. Bill Huertas from Puffy pointed out the value that direct-to-consumer brands bring to brick-and-mortar stores through data. He explained, DTC brands gather extensive data on consumer buying behaviors, which helps tailor offerings and improves customer service in-store. McCarthy from Resident Home agreed, emphasizing how their marketing efforts send well-informed and highly qualified buyers to retail locations. Rick Sturzer, representing Casper, spoke about the operational benefits of these synergies. While online models are agile and can rapidly adapt to market trends, physical stores bring established logistics and customer trust. Merging these strengths allows for a more robust market presence. However, Sturzer also highlighted the challenges, particularly the differing timelines for product development and marketing strategies between the two channels. The discussion underscored that consumers benefit the most from this collaboration. Efficient logistics mean faster delivery times and greater product availability. With the extensive reach of online marketing, consumers are better informed, and store visits become more meaningful interactions. Overall, these growing synergies are fostering an ecosystem that combines the best of both worlds: the convenience and data-driven insights of the online model with the tangible, trust-building experience of physical retail. This collaborative approach is not just a trend, but a substantial shift in how the mattress industry operates, bringing long-term benefits for consumers and businesses alike. Load Up, an on-demand junk removal company, is transforming how the furniture industry handles e-commerce returns with its innovative new division, Refurn. Targeted at generating revenue from what is typically a loss area in return logistics, Refurn provides furniture retailers with an eco-friendly solution designed to create a circular economy and minimize waste. CEO Greg Workman explains that rising costs in the furniture supply chain have led retailers to rethink their reverse logistics strategies. Refurn steps in as a game changer by enabling retailers to turn returns into revenue rather than additional costs. Our platform turns what was once a cost center into a profit area, says Workman, emphasizing the unique value proposition Refurn brings to online furniture sellers. Several key features and benefits make Refurn a standout solution. First, it offers revenue-generating services like removal, assembly, and installation, seamlessly integrated into the customer checkout process. This creates a direct avenue for additional revenue generation for retailers. Refurn also offers a re-commerce service that leverages Load Up's certified national reseller network. This network purchases and removes returned items, thereby converting returns into ready cash. Beyond these services, Refurn centralizes return management. Instead of dealing with multiple providers, retailers now have a single point of contact for various return services nationwide, including in-home extraction capabilities. This streamlined process simplifies logistics and enhances efficiency for furniture companies. Refurn's approach is not just financially beneficial, but also focuses on sustainability. By fostering a circular economy, the division aims to reduce unnecessary waste, providing a green alternative for handling returns. As consumer expectations for sustainability rise, such initiatives are increasingly important for maintaining a responsible and forward-thinking business model. Overall, Refurn presents an innovative and profitable solution for e-commerce furniture retailers. By turning returns into opportunities, Load Up's new division is set to revolutionize return logistics and contribute positively to both the industry and the environment. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Furniture Industry News. We hope you found the insights and updates we shared valuable for keeping up to date with the latest trends and developments in our industry. Don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us for future episodes. We'll continue to bring you all the important news and expert analysis to help you navigate the ever-evolving furniture market. Until next time, stay informed and ahead of the curve.